Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Emmanuel Agbogun dey call on the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, make e look into wetin dey happen for Obagie community for Benin City for Edo State. E say some thugs don take over the community and some military men dey support them because of 20 million naira. Make I leave you, make you hear from Emmanuel Agbogun as e dey let us know wetin dey happen for Obagie community.
To these petitions, you cannot take over people's community and in a manner that does not portray lawfulness. Then at the end of the day, you decide to remain mute. So I'm using this medium to call on the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chairman Police Service Commission, the Inspector General of Police, to, as a matter of urgent public importance, look into the issues raised at Obagie Nevbuosa community by their lawyers. This act of army invasion, if you look at what happened in Obanyato and what is happening in Obagie Nevbuosa, the military is beginning to ridicule themselves as if they are now land agents, as if they are now real estate developers. Yes, my conscious Edo people. I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist, Comrade Obagie Emmanuel. And if you are watching me this morning, I am actually out to speak truth, as usual, to the conscious Edo people that live within our sovereign state. As you can see, I have always been advocating that police brutality, all forms of uniform oppression and brutality and maltreatment on our populace must not be the order of the day. My attention has just been drawn to the caption of the video that some elements within the military are currently colluding, are currently aiding, are currently supporting lawlessness, thuggery, cultism, and community rustling, as the case may be. It will interest you all to note that I have also been a victim for speaking truth to uniformed persons. In this state, everybody knew, or some persons might also know, that on the 14th of September, I was unlawfully arrested for a crime I know nothing about. But however, that is not the subject of discussion. The subject of discussion that I came out this morning is to call on the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the commanding officer, the GOC 2 Division Oyo, Ibadan, Oyo State, to, as a matter of urgent public importance, response to petition of police, army brutality and oppression and collusion with criminal elements to take over some administrative affairs of some communities in Obagie local government area of Edo State. I am actually talking this morning because I want to lend my voice to what is currently going on in that part of Benin. I have seen video clips, I have seen evidences of petition written, and I've also heard in the news that this is what is going on in that part of Benin, and some senior citizens within the state are aiding and abetting this set of lawlessness that should not ordinarily be the business of the day when it comes to affairs of security. It also interests our people to know that despite the fact that the Fulani bandits have invaded so many communities in the Ovia axis of Benin City, we have not seen the military Wabazigan commander, one Major Issa Jubri, come out with his Wabazigan men and gallant army to fight headlong the activities of these headers. Farmers can no longer go to farm. We have not seen the Wabazigan commander come all out with fire weapons the way we have seen him deploy military men on 7 multipurpose machine gun truck Hilux vehicle manning a community. I have also been convinced that the military are now aiding these people because they want to benefit. because they want to benefit from the lawlessness, from the disagreement between parties, despite the fact that the matter is still a subject of litigation before a competent court of law. The military have invaded, taking side with some persons, calling some persons who are in court to rather step down from the activities of the community or have themselves to be blamed. When the military decide in a country like ours, where we have the judiciary that presides over civil and communal and litigation affairs, decide to become a judge in his own case, I believe this is a time where the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief of Defense Staff and the National Security Advisor to Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should immediately look into petition raised to ascertain the level, the veracity of the allegations that were brought out in this petition. For the purpose of clarity and for the purpose of setting the record straight, I want to read out these petitions, because I don't just like coming out to bear or cast aspersion on any form of our security apparatus without ensuring that I have proper information on what the issues are. So I want to read it out to the world so that you all can know what is actually transpiring in that part of Benin City. Persons who have written should also be patient with their petitions so that they can be answered. But when such petitions has taken over, I use the word, over 21 working days, and the illegality is still striving and nothing seems to be done, it is high time, I think, some of us will now lend our voice to ensure that the needful is done. I want to read out these petitions for you people to hear. And it is not because we are happy with what we see, but it's because our military, the Nigerian Army, I have a parental background of the Nigerian military. I will read for you so that you can understand what the nature of issues are. This petition was written to the Chief of Army Staff, Mohammed Buhari Way, Area 7, Garki, Abuja, dated the 20th of November 2023. Sir, letter of complaint, intimidation, harassment, and abuse of office by officers of the Nigerian Army. We have been briefed and retained by Festus Edegbe, Okaigilo of Obagie Nevbuosa community, Pa Michael Aloha, Chairman Council of Elders, Pa Julius Iyekepolo, Secretary, Festus Osaitin, Odion Igbinadolo, for themselves and on behalf of residents of Obagie Nevbuosa community, herein referred to as our clients, for ease of reference, and on whose behalf and firm instruction we humbly write you this letter of complaint. Subsequently, the following points are germane to this petition. 1. That our clients are law-abiding citizens and residents of Obagie Nevbuosa community of Benin Sapele Road, Benin City, Edo State. 2. That there was a leadership tussle in the community over the traditional stool of the Okaigele, wherein the court gave a restraining order to the opposing party that status quo should remain, in quote, Festus Edegbe should remain the Okaigele pending the final determination of the suit in court. Pending the final determination of the suit in court. That sometime on the 23rd of October 2023, one of our clients, Mr. Festus Edegbe, was surprised when an Wabazigan commander, Major Issa Jubri, attached to the 4th Mechanized Brigade of the Nigerian Army, called him and requested to have an audience with him over some personal decisions. 4. That upon honoring the said invitation, our client was further shocked to meet some persons from the community in the said office, wherein our client emphatically made it clear at the said meeting that the issues being discussed was pending before a court of competent jurisdiction, wherein some of the persons present there were defendants in the said suit, hence cannot be a subject of discussion by the said army officer. 5. That in the said meeting, Major Issa had pressured our client to step down from his current position as the Okagele of the community, stressing that he was too old for the said position. It beats our client's imagination how and when the said Major Issa became the custodian of the tradition of the said subject community. 6. That few days after the said meeting, on the 4th of November, the same persons on whose instance the said meeting was conveyed at Major Issa's office attacked two of our clients who are members of the community Festus Society or Dion Igbinadolo with guns, causing life-threatening injuries on them. We attach herein photograph of the said victims showing the various degree of injuries sustained. 7. That the said incident was reported to the Nigerian police via a petition dated 8 November 2023. We attach herein a copy of the said petition. 8. That to add salt to injury, sometime on the 18th of November, during the wee hours of the day, the said peace and security being enjoyed by the resident was threatened by the unprofessional and abnormal activities of military officers attached to 4 Mechanized Brigade Edo State. That about 63 military personnel carrying 4 GPMG guns in 6 Toyota Hilux vehicles stormed the community in a Gestapo manner, causing fear on unsuspecting residents and breaking into their homes without any legal jurisdiction or justification. 10. That persons who were fingered to be behind the ugly incident that happened on the 4th of November in the area are being escorted into the community by army personnel, despite the fact that these persons carry about prohibited firearms, causing mayhem in the area. 11. That it is disheartening that the good name of the Nigerian Army is being brought to the mud by these few unprofessional officers who have been compromised because of monetary and property landed promises in exchange for their illegal services when they eventually take over leadership illegally. 12. This time I want to use this call. Yeah, sorry for that call that came in. 12. That the officers of the Nigerian Army have no business with the law-abiding citizens. Oh my God. You see, I'm saying a rubbish call now.
This is a scam. Oh, they caught it.
Sorry for that break in transmission. So we were at the 12th agenda of this petition, where they said that the officers of the Nigerian Army have no business with law-abiding citizens going about their usual daily activities. Neither have the community been declared a war zone to warrant their one-time interventions. That 13. That assuming but not considering that there was any breakdown of law and order in the community, the appropriate authority is the Nigerian Police Force and not the Nigerian Army. That currently about 21 military personnel are still laying siege in the community, harassing and intimidating residents who are going about their lawful activities. 15. That our clients are in dire need of your intervention in this matter and humbly demand that you investigate this complaint and direct the immediate withdrawal of army personnel from our community. Please accept the assurance of our warmest regard as we anticipate your usual prompt response. Yours faithfully, O.I. Obagie, Esquire. So that is it. I have taken pains to read out these petitions that are before the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Commanding Officer, 2 Division, Oyo, Ibadan, Oyo State, all of these military authorities in charge or working in line with the 4 Mechanized Brigade as our Nigerian Army formations are already aware. But what beats my imagination is that the members who have written this petition that is very elaborate, talking about their complaints that are very obvious. You cannot send army to go and preside over a matter, or go to the military cannot preside over a matter that is already a subject of litigation in the competent court of law, where there's a restraining order telling people to maintain status quo. I am not by any chance saying that the military is wrong. I am not by any chance saying that what the military has done is bad, but there is a petition before a constituted authority that presides over the military, and it is their prerogative and their right and the right of the citizens to get a response promptly to these petitions. You cannot take over people's community and in a manner that does not portray lawfulness, then at the end of the day you decide to remain mute. So I'm using this medium to call on the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chairman Police Service Commission, the Inspector General of Police, to, as a matter of urgent public importance, look into the issues raised at Obagie Nevbuosa community by their lawyers. This act of army invasion, if you look at what happened in Obanyato and what is happening in Obagie Nevbuosa, the military is beginning to ridicule themselves as if they are now land agents, as if they are now real estate developers, and this is not what we believe their mandate should be in our state. I want to also say that the issue raised is that the military is colluding with criminals, cultists, as it was rightly written in the petition. I have read through it. I have seen acknowledged copies, to the offices so far mentioned, and I want to use this medium to call on the National Security Advisor. We have gone beyond this banana republic approach to security matters, whereby people begin to disregard court cases and court processes, all because they want to get their own selfish end. I have been reliably believed by these persons who have complained to my parliament that the sum of 20 million naira was used to appease the conscience of the GOC for them to deploy soldiers to that community. And what freaks me more is that I have seen communities where you have peasant farmers who are currently farming there. You will not see the military go to their community to take siege or to remain there when Boko Haram bandits attack. But I am surprised that in a community that is at the heart of Benin City, the military is there laying siege for people who are alleged to be cultists. I also am also aware that there's a power tussle, but we must go about it lawfully. If there's a litigation in court and the court have said maintain status quo, it is obliged on every party that is before the court to obey the decision of the court pending the final determination of the suit. But if the military is now waving in to say that the court case should be set aside and the persons who have gone to court to seek some level of justice are not the ones to forget about what their issues is, or because military personnel have waved in. And I've not seen where the military decides to resolve communal issues whereby deploying soldiers. I want to know also if it is the GOC that gave such order, or if it is the Chief of Army Staff, where 4 GPMG machine guns and over 63 soldiers will be deployed to a community in a local government, and the Chief Security Officer of the state is not aware, the Chief of Army Staff is not aware, the Chief of Defense Staff is not aware, the National Security Advisor is not aware. I don't know how this portends for our military, but this is the height of military abuse on its citizens. I want to stop here for now, and I also want you guys to join me much later in the day to look at those victims and hear from them, to ascertain the level of damage and the level of assault and the level of wickedness that have been meted out on these people. You can have civil issues, you can have crises, but for you to go and use the military and induce them, and the military allow themselves to be used, I think this calls for a high disciplinary measure. We have seen what transpired in other states where military men will go and even take over force headquarters of the police, shoot and all that. And we have seen where military men will take over communities and begin to cause mayhem. If that is happening in Benin City in the 21st century and nobody is saying anything, there's no report in the mainstream media, I believe we are living on a keg of gunpowder. And it will be so bad when citizens begin to lose hope in the military that is meant to protect the territorial boundary of this country, begin to induce anarchy, pain, and extortion, all in the name of favoring friends and cronies and colluding with criminals. At this junction, I want to stop here. I promise that I'll be live, because all of you know for some time now I've not been on my blog, but I can assure you that in no distant time we are bouncing back to work by next week, and you shall continue hearing more, because you know I was a victim. And to let the world know, people now use our security agencies on the basis of highest bidder, on the basis of who can pay more. The reason why I was sent to prison custody for 58 days was because I don't have money to give to the police. If the police had seen that I came with a bag of money, they will also collect from the complainant and collect from me, and at that time it will become a money tussle game. That is what we have been doing. We have very many corrupt people colluding with the security agencies, including the police, over land crisis in Benin. And we all know that land matters are civil matter, and they are supposed to be a subject of litigation in court, because the court is only the court that can preside over land issues. But these days, you don't only see the police, the military are not involved. I can tell you categorically clear that I am, in fact, a part and parcel of the victim of Air Force officers who have invaded communities and aided cultists and criminals on Sapele Road to also invade some communities, particularly Ubiaza community, which made me to be remanded in prison. We can no longer be running this kind of hula baloo style of politicking, where or security operations, where Oga of office can just use the instrument of government to oppress certain individuals because they don't pay homage to them, or because they don't like their faces. We live in a lawful society, and I believe the chief of defense staff, the chief of army staff, Major General Brigadier General Labaja will also do the needful to ensure that this matter is looked into squarely. And at this junction also, I also want to let the executive governor of Edo State know that the way and manner in which security agencies are now turning communities into their launch pack, where they begin to use, in fact, instigate crisis so that they can come in with petitions and begin to arrest persons who are of opposing interest to them because they want to get money from land sales. We are already aware of these things. I'm already a victim. We have since written petitions to other police authorities like the Police Service Commission, like the Inspector General of Police Office, for them to investigate certain illegalities of their officers, but they play lackadaisical attitude to it. What this portends is that in no distant time, we shall continue to have deepening crisis, because there's nothing as evil when you see that people begin to fight against their own constituted authority. What is happening now is that military men in uniform, I can go all out to show you pictures before I end this broadcast that have been forwarded to me to further convince me to lend a voice to what is going on. I will show you pictures at this moment before I end this broadcast, so that you can see for yourself that what is currently going on in these communities in Edo State is nothing but a clear state of anarchy. It's nothing but a clear state of abuse of office. It's nothing but a clear state of clear abuse of holding public office. Let me show you this video here so that you can see. Okay, you can see the military here. You can see the military here. You can see them in their numbers, even with multi-purpose machine guns and all that. If these youths are violent and you are coming to chase them, you won't be confronting them with the base of dialogue. We know our military. So there need to be some level of investigation into this matter. Very serious. You can see the military. They are well positioned. So if these people are violent, the military won't get to them like this. So why is the military colluding? Their officers, the GOC commanding officers, should be asked questions. So my conscious Edo people, you just watch this clip and you can see for yourself that persons were even protesting when the military arrived. If that community was a violent one, as they were claimed or as they are claiming, I want to believe that the military will not be in that form. So it is clear to the blind that the military, in fact, there's nothing for Major Issa to call a man who is already in court, telling him that he's too old for an office. Since when does age of a man and holding a community office now affects the military? Since when does that affect the military? I think this is a very big question that the Chief of Army Staff should immediately call the GOC for mechanized and the commanding officer Wabazigan, one Major Issa Jubri, to ask them and investigate them what role did they play. As I've been told, they say the people are boasting that they have given them 20 million and they are willing to pay more because they have now the ones they have supported to take over the administrative affairs of the community. Once again, as I told you earlier, I will be in no distant time interviewing those victims that were shot in the presence of the military and bring out more facts to back what I've said here. My names are Comrade Obagie Emmanuel. Do me this favor by joining me in a couple of hours. Thank you and bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Emmanuel Obagie. Let us know what you think for this matter. Go to comment section, make you put your own. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.